Right, welcome back. Welcome back. We eventually got electricity back. Everybody's happy. Sorry about earlier, but you know, when shift changes or schedule changes happen, all of a sudden it's kind of out of a person's capability to do anything about it. So we're going to make the best of it. I'm just going to fly again. I see there's only 5 guys now. It's an awkward time of day. I think everybody is either planning on lunch or going to lunch or now spending time with their family. At least I've got the video when it's all said and done, so those guys can then watch as well. Right, so it's the middle of the day, but the sun is very low here. You can see it's going to the midnight darkness forever and ever in winter here in this place. So anyway, is what it is. We're gonna still fly. We're gonna do the whole winter ops thing again, and this time I am hoping to concentrate enough to actually do it without taking off without flaps. You know, do it properly this time. Rab, shout at me if you see I don't have my flaps ready.
Will do.
Thank you. Anybody else on the stream, you're also welcome to start screaming and shouting. All right, so I'm going to just quickly drag the Sim Toolkit Pro a little bit higher in my priorities, and then I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so I've now taken the time to go and reconfigure my Sim Toolkit Pro properly the way I want it and the way it needs to work. We've even got the new payware version of the web FMC running, and I can literally run, well, you can't see it when I do that, I can run my actual FMC now from, yeah, you know, SDKP and the web FMC. If you've got a browser or you want to do it via your mobile phone or tablet, you can also do it with this app, because it's just a web page basically that you go to, so it works for me. All right, so one of the issues that I have right now is that some of the data is now behind this thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking deep. Maybe we must ask Dan to either move this panel to the left or make it movable ourselves, that we can just drag it across, because I mean, we want to see the OFP, or the OFP miss it on that side. Going off on a tangent again. Anyway, let's go. Right, the current temperature here is now -3. It is just after 1 p.m. and that is what it looks like apparently outside. We still have snow and icing conditions, so we're going to do the whole story of this morning again. Okay. Let's see quickly, where are we with alignment? Alignment seems to have been completed. That will come on. EFRO. ENTC. That's done. That is done. Let's do it again. Make this dark cockpit. Nuts. That's what the aero control wants. See if we can do this. See, now this is going to necessitate me changing the shape and sizing. Let's do it. Let's do it so it works for us. The one thing I do like about SDKP is you can actually make the writing here bigger and smaller and so on. So, we don't need the WebFMC at this point in time, but just to show you guys how nice it is, we can quickly use it. So it's now looking at the reserves, right? So if we go to reserves, there we've got Paul. We just type it in there and you'll see here on the side as it updates, It doesn't matter of interest. Cost index is 20. This time we're flying at 360 apparently. It's 360. Right now the winds we can't see from here. The winds 358 at 10 and minus 10. On the ISA and execute. We're not going to mess with that. Perhaps 5.
Ready for pre-flight procedure.
And then I can now do what she needs to do. Hit the trim, my dear.
Trim up.
Right, and we get 148. That's too much slower than this morning. Right, I'm going to start the APU. And we can start closing up and getting ready to go. One thing I haven't done is bring up my checklist. You know what? I'm thinking out loud now. Maybe just put it in here. It's not in here already. These charts. Do it that way. So what I'm gonna do, let's put it on the screen for you guys. So you can see as well. So we're gonna go to resources, plugins, tab, dots. The readme. What we need to do is we need to find my training checklist. By location. Need to name it all that big name. Just call it yes. What's that? Alright, so now we need to go one up directly and then go back and read that one. There we go. So there we are. Start procedures. Put it in that page. Right, then we have it there. I can then refer to it over there. I think that's brilliant. Then I don't have to switch it on and off on the screen the whole time. Okay. Right, so ground handling, control, drive away, all. Doors.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So slightly too big. We are 0 and below. What's we want to be? What is it? It's just one little notch in between would have been better. Can we not hold the button. You can just do off scale. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's make capture go off.
OK. All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Right, so seatbelts on. Need to fix my sound so I can hear what's happening. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Tow connected and release
Before
pin
start procedure
inserted.
complete.
Release parking brake.
Ready for before start checklist.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
It's not as bad with the icing it seems as this morning, but there's still icing left. Snow and all. You know what I did not do? I did not start my anchors. My anchor's running. Yes, it is a flight. I like that function. Right, so now the taxiway is not clear. I saw this morning it was a bit weird to try and follow this line. So there's a line, and I suppose it will take us somewhere in there, because there was like a
Operation
painted
complete.
island.
Set parking brake.
There was like a painted island.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Ah, yeah, you actually go like there towards the end. There's the line right at the end. Ranky, ranky. I just got lunch. Lucky fellows. Thanks, man. Right, so we have to go right around the end then. Okay,
Tow
that's
is
what I missed this
disconnected
morning.
and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. N2. Starter cutout.
a ring if you need anything.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine.
Boarding door has been closed. Once again, we need all passengers to remain seated at this time. Please double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices will need to be turned off.
25 N2.
Doesn't include all cellular phone situations or flight attendants. Please put your doors for departure on contact.
Starter cutout. Engine start procedure complete.
Alright, so just to show the temperature, it's -3 degrees, and when we are at 0 and below, we need to do a couple of things. Okay, so generally we would be either doing the de-icing at the stand where we are now, or in a de-icing bay. I don't know if there are any actual de-icing bays in here. I don't see it on the charts. Maybe if I go read more on the ground layout chart, maybe that's a place I can go check out later. It might show it, but on the normal airport diagram it's not visible. So you would typically then switch on engine anti-ice and wing anti-ice, and then you would taxi to that position. Okay. Where we are right now is exactly just where I'm going to do it. So we're going to skip this. We are not going to switch these things on, for the simple reason that we're going to go to our FCOM procedure the way Mr. Boeing wants it. Right, so we're going to start off here. APU must be off unless required, so we know the APU is off and its bleed air is off. Those are the two important things. Then flaps must be up. Yes, flaps is up. We never set them down. Thrust levers must be idle. Stabilizer trim must be in the middle. It must be at 5 units. So it's very close, but no cigars. So we're just going to move it back to 5, and then we're going to ask Best Linda here to just set it for us when we're done again. And the reason why you do that is when you... Hey Andy, you're broadcasting my life. There you go. So the reason you do that is you want all of these little openings to be as small as possible, so de-icing fluid can't get in there. You want to make sure that it's as closed as possible. Right, then lead air switches must go off, so we're going to go find them and switch them off. You can hear it dying in the background, and then on the tablet we're going to start the de-icing. It will run for 1 minute. What I'm going to do is just move this thing slightly out of the way. Ground, start de-icing.
We have started the de-icing
When
procedure.
it's done, we're going to run the timer for 1 minute to make sure that it gets rid of all those fluids and it does not come into the cabin for the passengers. Right, so in this 3 minutes, I'm quickly going to grab a couple of bites to eat. As I said, my lunch has come, so while it's doing that, enjoy the show.
De-icing procedure complete.
Alright, so we're just going to let the de-icing fluid drain a little bit. And I can go back to checklist. Oops, wrong option. So we have to wait 1 minute. Then we're going to switch the bleed. Now switches back on. 30 seconds gone. Ooh, look at the icing, how it's built up again. Oh my goodness. Those guys can come on. That one can go off. Okay. Now it's dark. Right. That's it then. Right, so let's quickly do our control surface check. That away. On. Right, so stabilizer trim set for takeoff. Linda, please do us the honors again.
Trim up.
Okay, engine anti-ice both must come on. We do not use wing anti-ice because we're using fluid. The fluid will give you 45 minutes hot on the ground and will rapidly diminish in the air. Then we start using wing anti-ice again. We will taxi without flaps. That's just the Boeing way. You don't want slush build up, you know, in the cracks there. Right, this is our supplemental runway entry, and this is the red line that I missed earlier. Set takeoff flaps. Damn it, I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna try not to do it again. Okay. So, let's go. I am gonna do my best to try and follow this line again. This morning it was terribly difficult to taxi here, so maybe a reboot fixed it, or maybe that's the way it was designed to be, you know, simulating the skidding on the ice. But we'll find out now. One thing is for sure, we don't want to drive too fast. Behaves totally different now than before. You know, when it's not ice, no icing on the ground, not icing. Oops, 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 come. And if you guys are maybe skippers, you'll understand the problem that you face now is you're oversteering, and then to counter steer you've got to start a little bit earlier. This is weird.
Hi Rob, hi Nico. We're back finally.
Yeah, finally. Mart, yes, explain 12.
Explain 12, I wanted to ask.
Yes. Mart just asked on the stream. sluggish, very sluggish. Look at where's my N1. It's already at 40%, almost 40%, 37 something. And this thing does not want to turn. So you've got to be very careful. Wow. They're going to have to tone this down quite a bit. This is super slippery. No man. It's like sometimes it gets grip and then the wheel is just not the right, position, and then it's like it grabs and it goes, and then you struggle the rest of the time again. I'm clearly not used to driving on ice like this.
Oh, gentlemen.
Yes.
Goedemiddag, second attempt, eh?
Yep. Stupid electricity went out again. Hierdie is nie maklik nie, maar hier te taxi. Right, so we are going to taxi into position. Let's now just start a little bit before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure.
Taxi into position and hold quickly. Then we're going to do that supplemental procedure that's on the checklist there.
Before takeoff procedure complete. Ready for before takeoff checklist. Stabilized.
here. Let's check the alignment of this thing. Yeah, it's not straight. Right, so checklist says perform a static engine run up to 70% of N1 for 30 seconds. Right, so we're going to push 70%.
Stabilized.
Run it for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, we're going to set the flaps and take off as usual. So this was the mistake I made earlier. I need to let it spool down. We can stop that clock. Now we're going to go flaps 5. So it is.
Nico, is this checklist provided by Zibo?
No, get up. It's my checklist for the Zibo. It's the one I use for training, Andy.
Ready for before taxi
if you-
procedure.
Okay.
If you look in my
Flaps
Google
5
Drive,
set.
in my private hangar folder, you'll see in the Zibo folder, it's called the training checklist. This thing is made to literally train somebody that has never been in a cockpit. So it's got line by line by line something. It's not similar to this one. You know, this is something somebody with a bit of experience would use. The one I have is literally there to teach you all the flows and to really break it down to very basics. Oh yes, you got to click there. See, so but it's in there, and if you can't find it, I'll show you where, or I'll send you a copy. It's definitely it's in there.
I know your hangar.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, so that takes care of all of that. We've got flaps 5 green light over there. Let's start our timer and get going.
Stabilized.
Yoga.
Beautiful view, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice.
Takeoff thrust set.
Speed of line.
80 knots. Throttle hold. Rotate.
What we did not do.
Positive rate.
Snowy skiddable runway. What I say. So small detail I missed out now.
Acceleration altitude.
One day. Right, so just to show you, this is what I did forget. If you go here to page 2. But that's on the approach reference. And you go to page 2. There's a whole string of things there at the top. I was supposed to tell it earlier on in my setting. So, one small mistake. Just remember it, guys. Alright, so here we go. Nice and bumpy.
Flaps 1 set.
It was nice and bumpy earlier as well until we got past the clouds. Because we were actually in the clouds. So
Approaching transition. Transition altitude.
Right, now, because we are in the air, our fluid will rapidly diminish the effectiveness of it at least. And what will happen is we
Flaps
will
up and set.
have to actually manage the anti-ice ourselves. Right, it's now telling us that the anti-ice is on above 10 degrees. The inversion of the temperatures happened this morning as well, and then you break through the clouds and then all of a sudden it starts coming down again. So, all things that we need to keep our eye on, because below 10, in conditions like this, you are bound to pick up icing.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches off. Logo lights switches off.
Okay, so this is important. After takeoff, this is what becomes the norm and the rule. So your engine anti-ice switches with visible moisture and icing conditions, and when you get to minus 40, you have to stop. So minus 41, 42, 43, counting upwards, you switch them off, then they have no use. Okay? Wing anti-ice switches also as required, but you can only use them below 35,000 foot when extra power is not required, because it will have an influence on your bleed air. Okay, it will also create bleed air issues and passenger comfort and oxygen problems. Okay, cabin is going to be this. Okay. It's recommended for only 3-second intervals to remove the ice of the first 3 slats. Okay. Sometimes we leave it on a little bit longer, sometimes we just cycle it a few times. But this is brilliant information we've got there. Do not keep them on. That is a big thing that you need to be careful for. If you keep it on, the ice will build up around them and they kind of lose the effectiveness. So make sure that you try to remember the shallow rock. So yeah, just thought I'd share that with you as well. We're going to try and remember that.
Interesting. First time I see this in detail.
Yeah. When Zibo introduced the icing conditions, me and him and Jorge spent a lot of time testing it and working on all of these things together to make sure that it works like the old EFCOM is supposed to say it does. Okay? So as you know, me and Zibo always works according to the EFCOM. It doesn't go according to someone else's work because it figures it out according to EFCOM. Alright, we've lost our autopilot. I think I bumped this thing. Damn it. I moved my chair and I think I must have touched the trim wheel. I do apologize. I'm just glad I saw it now. So I'm so deep in thought and everything. Anyway, so Andy, we had a lot of
Yes,
discussions. We had a lot of discussions. We went to and fro from the FCOM, and then we obviously introduced it to the public, and then all the other pilots had their say, and there was a big hoo-ha. And one of the things that we found out at that point in time is that not all the airlines use the same procedures. Okay, so again, it's not so much a story of right and wrong, it's more a story of your own SOP. These are the Boeing guidelines, and then I see a lot of the airlines, they change things. We found one airline, which I'm not going to mention now, they actually have two sets of FCOMs, one for the guys flying more south and one for the guys flying more towards the Arctic Circle north, and it's interesting because there's notable differences between them. But for us and for the Zibo, this is kind of, it works, and we just stick to the basics. Somebody at one point in time said that they, in their whole career as an airline pilot, at that point in time he was probably from 10 years, he only used the anti-ice twice, the wing anti-ice twice. The engines they use continuously, constantly in weather like this. But the wings, they use it like once or twice in this guy's career. So I'm not sure where exactly he flew. Again, it's going to differ from pilot to pilot and operator and circumstances. But I mean, here in South Africa, I can almost virtually guarantee you the guys will maybe use it once in their career, or not more than 5 or 10 times. The wing is just a different feature to work with. So.
Takeoff was great.
For me, it's
We will see your landing.
unbelievable that this is modeled.
Yeah, and you know what the other thing is that is modeled that a lot of guys do not appreciate really, because I don't know if they actually understand it, is density altitude. That is why we fly in Peru and Lima and South America, Chile, those places with those high altitude airports, because the Zibo mod actually takes density altitude into consideration, and if you do not handle it accordingly, this is why we made the high altitude challenge tour in the VA, is to go test it, get a couple of guys to help us test, and it's all actually simulated. The aircraft will behave according to your density altitude. So if you go to a hot and high or a low and cold condition, it will simulate it. So you can, if you go to hot and high, you need to do the bleeds off, takeoff, you need to put a little bit more flaps, there's a couple of things you need to do with the oxygen, and obviously in the Zibo now, he's got that one button. I don't know if I enabled it in this model. Where's that thing? Might not have enabled it here. Remember, there, high altitude, there it is. You have to enable that. There's a specific air conditioner / pressurization system for high altitude conditions. So that's where we took the guys initially, and it was fun. From 10 guys taking off, 5 or 6 of them would crash at the end of the runway because they didn't take the density altitude and the correct procedures into account. And that's also, it's in the Zibo. And then what we did was, we actually went up here, somewhere in Norway or Sweden. We went to a very short runway. It was very short, but it was like minus 16 degrees, so the air was obviously thick, it was nice air. And we actually took off on, I think it was like 1,300 meters or something, compared to your normal 1,600 to 1,800 meters that you would normally use. And again, that whole story is, it's in the Zibo mod. It's all been modeled.
You fly the two, is PMDG at this level?
I've never tried it in the PMDG. And I won't be truthfully answering. I don't know. We'll have to take it. Now that we've got both, we can actually go and do it. I don't know.
In FS 2020, you fly with PMDG, no?
I do sometimes. Yes.
And which one is better?
Andy, it's not a question of better. I can't say one is better than the other. Let me answer you this way. The PMDG model is based on a Boeing 737-800NG that comes from the year 2004-5-6, around about there. Okay, they've obviously added a few new things and such, but in essence, that is what they're modeling. Okay, it's an older generation system. Okay, the Zibo mod is current. We've got all the bells and whistles of the current equipment. Okay, in the EFB here in the Zibo mod, you can go back and you can disable all kinds of things to match an older generation aircraft. We can in fact go even further back than what PMDG was. I think we can go back to somewhere in the 90s when these things first came out, just by changing settings in the EFB.
These icing things are modeled as well?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to have to test it. We're going to have to take it. You know, you fly your PMDG or you fly Zibo, I fly PMDG.
I don't have it.
So you fly Zibo, I'll fly PMDG, and we fly together one day and we go check it out.
I'm not at your level.
I believe in you, Andy. I'm sure we can do it.
I believe in me too, but a bit later.
Okay, we'll make a plan. It is interesting. You know, I just don't want to be known as the guy that bashes anything, because the next guy is just going to come in, he's going to make his own video and he's going to bash the Zibo again. The thing is, we need to be very clear that we're talking about two different, generations of systems. Okay, and obviously one is payware, one is freeware. And there's a lot of things that we need to take into account. For me, being part of the Zibo team is the ultimate. You know, I love it, and I don't want to jeopardize it by saying the wrong thing. But it would be interesting to go and do a similar test and see what happens. Because also another thing is, remember, there is a trigger built into the code that says once you have done the de-icing, it will be hot for 45 minutes. Now, in FS 2020, the PMDG does not have its own de-icing trucks. So I'm not sure if you have to buy GSX or whether it will actually trigger on GSX. How is the aircraft going to know that you did de-icing? You know, that's my first question. Maybe it doesn't know because maybe they don't simulate it because they don't have their own system. You see, maybe there is a trigger in GSX, but then again, now you've got to go buy it, to tell the PMDG. I don't know. These are things I really don't know.
What is GSX, Nico?
It's the ground services. It's the little pushback truck and all the baggage carts and the bus and the people and all these kind of things that you get in 20. It's called GSX.
Okay. So I learned a lot today.
The nice thing about that is you can animate the passengers, so you can actually make them walk out the terminal and climb into your aircraft. That's how far advanced that little plug-in is already.
It's gaming.
Yeah. You see, Chronic, I tend to think it, but I'm hesitant to say it. I don't want to say something that's wrong.
Didn't I see you fly with PMDG in 2020?
Yes, you did. I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh.
Andy, my dream for today was to fly this flight in the Zibo and then, go relax, maybe an hour, later, come back and do the same flight in the PMDG. Right now, it is 2:30 p.m. now, our time, and the next bout of load shedding is at 6 p.m. So there's not enough time to do two flights back to back now, which is really irritating. Because I really would have liked it, because the only way that you're really going to be able to compare it is to have similar conditions or semi-similar conditions. And electricity is just gone.
Electricity is gone.
Yeah, look, this morning they took it away. They took it like it was gone. The schedule says 2.5 hours every time. So tonight 6 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. No electricity again.
do you have? What time do you have? You said?
It is 2:25 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
To level off.
$1,000 to go.
Quick the top of descent comes.
Ready for descent procedure.
You are on your own solar energy now?
No, I'm sharing solar with the guy next door. And you know what happened this morning? Both tripped at the same time. So we lost the electricity company's power. And the solar only came back on like an hour ago. It also just died at the same time, like 5 minutes apart from each other. So I'm thinking that somebody overloaded the solar on the other side maybe. I'm not sure. But it did trip as well.
You can share with your neighbor.
Yeah, but I only get 2 kilowatts. I don't get more than that. He's got the other 14 kilowatts for himself, you know, so it's a gentleman's agreement. So I can basically run my PC, the internet networking side of things here, and my son can run his PC. That's about it. Not much. We can't really run the house from it.
Must be complicated.
Really. Well, Andy, I know how you can fix it for me, you know.
I can fix what for you?
The power problem. You can actually fix it for me.
I don't believe that.
No, it's going to cost 10,000 euro. It's all you need. I'll give you my PayPal details. You put the money in. Tell you 1 week later, problem is gone.
10,000 euro only?
Yeah, only. It's cheap, quick. I wish.
We'll tell my wife. We'll speak with my wife.
Okay. just stand far away from her when she's got some element or something in her hand that she can hit you with.
Yes, I will.
Anyway, that's just a joke. But that is in reality what it's going to cost me to get my 60. You can obviously buy cheaper, and then you can say, okay, well, solar is just for the one, you know, like the office situation we have now, then it's not going to cost that much. You know, you can maybe just upgrade it a little bit so you can at least boil the kettle and get some coffee at the same time. Ryan, thank you, man. Black Knight. Yeah, guys, just throw the money, man. We'll do it. Anyway, yeah, so there's different levels that you can go. At this point in time, I must be honest, if I can just get something that can carry me during the day, you know, at night I can do something else or whatever. It's irritating because at night is my best time that I actually function, but one of those things. So, yeah, lines need to be made. always amazing how quickly a problem can go away if you just throw enough money at it. Right, let's set up. We need to be at 3 degrees. Whoops. Let's do it this way. 3 degrees. Be at 5,000. So we accept. Our minimum's 385. Right, we're at 2.1, we're going to be at 3.2. Well, that's what we have, and that's where we're going to be, sorry. And so that's 9, 10, 11. So that means 63, 4. 4. That's VRF. I need to set the values. 0. Affirmative, Ryan, it's the same idea. You just have to buy the one appropriate to each aircraft because it's customized for each aircraft. This US option thing, you'll have to ask Chart Design. I have no idea. Speak to you, Jamie, at Chart Design for asking. If that me dot command's going to work, it's got to a lot of the stuff on SDKP just doesn't work the same on YouTube as it does on Twitch. But you paid attention to set it up, fully and completely again. But what we can do is this. We can show it to you. There you go. There's your METAR. You can read it over there. I wonder if I can copy it. Let's see. And paste it. Yep. Copy that. So easy. It's stupid. Why not? Not working. I got it. I got it in SDKP. There you go. There's the meter.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches on. Approaching transition.
I'm sitting here telling you the whole story and my mic's muted. Neil, Rovaniemi, where we took off, is the destination for the Christmas fly-in. Every year there is a Christmas fly-in. So on the 17th of December we're flying in there as well. The one where we're landing was the departure airport for the Skymatix group 2 years ago. So we flew from this airport to Rovaniemi. You know, it's the flight that we're going to do tomorrow morning. The one that's on my schedule in my flight plans. Okay. And I'm just not sure if it was in the European or some other challenge tour. I'm just not sure. Just remember,
No,
guys.
it wasn't.
Okay. Just remember, guys, if we fly the Rovaniemi fly in on the 17th, put at least an extra hour worth of fuel in there, if not more, because your whole time can be up to an hour at least.
Transition level. Ready for approach checklist.
No guesses, no. Yeah, there is like 100 or 200 people flying into that small little airport, you know, and they stack you and they bring you down. It is so nice to fly if you've got the visuals when you see all the little lights flying in little holding patterns all over the place, because there's like 3 or 4 holding points where they put you into, and then they drop you down in the hold. You know, while you're holding, they will give you come lower, lower, then they take you out and you to approach and go land. And then you've got to contend with the guys that are either too slow or too fast, depending on where you are in the flow, because they will either make you go around or they will have to go around. So it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. First time I did it, my palms was sweating. But we're almost there. That's 5. We've got our anticipation cues. Yeah, it's awesome, Neil. I tell you what, it is one of those things that you really need to participate in.
Flaps 5 set.
And once you've done it, you'll be hooked.
1000 to
Yes,
level
Steve,
up.
round 2, trying again.
1,000 to go.
Radio altimeter.
Localizer capture.
Excellent. And listen, your little widget thingy works proper, eh? This little plugin of yours. And I see the explain weather every single time I check it. It's spot on to real world weather now. So I think they've tweaked that thing quite a bit. Right, we're 13 nautical miles out. And we have a mountain here. Oh my goodness.
Radio altimeter.
I'm glad they did. Just don't understand why it took so long. It was so important, and anyway, I'm just glad it's done. Look where the ground is here. Here by us. Oh,
Glide slope capture.
I better sit upright and get ready here. Where am I going?
Flaps 15 set.
And speed brake on,
Flaps
auto
30
brake.
set. Ready for landing checklist.
3. Belts should be on. Yep. Now we're in your hands now. You need to just do all the lights and at least I'll fly. Thank you, Neil. I made the bot a little bit more lenient.
Radio altimeter.
In actual fact, I haven't even seen the right bot. It's a different bot that seems to be talking to us today. I don't know where this night bot is. It's not talking to us. Probably doing maintenance or something like that. That is interesting. I really only realized now that the night bot is not here.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for landing.
Yeah, a bit of a steep descent, eh, guys? Right, we need to go to 5,000, so that is set. Let's go around. Wow, this is a bit of a descent.
Taxi
1,000.
lights on.
Oh, there's no wind indication that this aircraft is picking up some of the fuels. It's rolling. Come back here, come back here.
500. Clear to land runway
500.
36.
Approaching decision height. 300.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed breakup.
It was much softer than that. This thing is crazy. It wasn't
Auto
that
brake
hard.
in use.
Yes, the landing rate recorded by STKP is 178 foot per
60
minute,
knots.
and the speed was 132 knots
Yeah.
at 1.7 Gs. That's
Great
what it
landing.
recorded.
You are professional.
This other thing, say 355. So that's incredible how they can differ so much. And as a matter of interest, the VA, where's the VA landing rate? Landing. What? The VA landing rate is not working. It didn't come up with a landing rate. That is very interesting.
Flaps up and set.
That is very interesting. This aircraft is not turning. I'm not joking when I say it's not turning. How on earth are we going to get back to the terminal if we cannot turn? You know, to do this snake's face here. How's it, Eric? How's it? Very nice landing. Thank you so much. Okay, we have to do this very soon. Yeah, at the end of the day, that is in my mind. It's a question of getting there now, Scotsman, and then using these brakes to make the turn sharper. Of course, but still, the slipperiness is way exaggerated, and the problem in steering on the icing runways. It's the first time I'm doing it in X-Plane 12, and I'm really not enjoying it because. Look, I'm counter steering long time ago and it just goes. Come now, man. This is like learning how to drive a boat. Yeah.
Stabilized.
Okay, that was not fun. I must be honest, I didn't really experience it. And in X-Enviro, there's that tick box where you can tell it simulated or not, you know, so it's easy enough to manipulate it. Yeah, no change to the tires for sure. Now we're not gonna make this turn off. I was sleeping. We'll have to take the next one. Exactly, just like a boat. After landing procedure. After landing procedure.
After landing procedure.
I'll be pretty high north now, man.
After landing procedure complete.
Okay. I heard you speak about it the other day. Look. Now we're going that way again. Yeah, we drive better here on the grass. That's one thing for sure. Oh no, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now that I've built up speed, I've got no control. There's just no control. You have to do this at snail's pace, otherwise you must leave it. This is crazy. Ow. Well, I think we gave somebody a grand show today. I know. I'll try make this turn. If I can't make this turn now, it just means we're just gonna park right here and we'll wait for the tug to come. There's Nightbot. It's finally woken up. Yeah, it can't be more than that. It doesn't respond well with anything more than that. I can guarantee you that. We'll have to have a bit of a chat with Sasso about this. I just feel it's a little bit over-exaggerated, but it could just be me. Whew, look how nicely we did this. Recovered, not badly. Covered pretty well. Okay, parking brake set. I've been struggling so much I didn't even start the APU, so... shutdown procedure.
Shutdown procedure.
Oh yes, it does, for sure. Just have to check the stream to see it. It's crazy. It's weird. Where I come from, we don't have stuff like this. Not normally, eh?
Shutdown procedure complete.
Thank you, Honey Bunny. You were a great help
Ready
today.
for shutdown checklist.
There we go. This is like a fixed base. It's not gonna do anything. Okay, so why does it not just extend? It's not made that way. Alright, well, I feel relieved. My goodness. And live to fly another day. And the flight has been logged. Excellent. Well, guys, at least this stream went through full time, so I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned one or two things. Sorry for the one little mistake I made. Two, if you count the issue with the taxiing, but that's just new, so I'll figure it out. Hope you guys.
Was interesting. Thank you, Nico.
You're welcome, Andy. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. So my power goes off again now at 6 p.m. So it's 3 hours from now, and then it will be off for 2.5 hours. So I've got things to do and places to go. I'll try catch up either later this evening or tomorrow morning. Then you guys must have fun. Thanks for watching.
Bye, Nico. Good day.
Thank you, Nico.
Bye bye, guys.